My dear listener, imagine this. A young man sacrifices everything he has, working day and night to send the woman he loves to school. He denies himself, endures hunger, and takes loans, just to see her succeed. But the moment she graduates, she dumps him and marries another man for money. But my friend, life is a mystery. What happened to her later will leave you speechless. Don't go anywhere. Listen till the end, and if this story touches you, please subscribe, comment your thoughts, and share with others. The story begins. Precious sat in front of the large dressing mirror, her fingers trembling as she applied her lipstick. Her heart was pounding, not out of excitement, but from the weight of regret that had drowned her soul for years. Tonight was her wedding anniversary with Peter, the wealthy businessman she had chosen over Timothy, the man who had once loved her more than life itself. As she stared at her reflection, flashes of her past came rushing back like a violent storm. She had been just a poor village girl with nothing but big dreams. Her parents were farmers, barely surviving. Schooling was a luxury, yet Precious dreamt of wearing that graduation gown. Then came Timothy. Timothy was the son of a struggling carpenter. He had finished secondary school but couldn't further because his family couldn't afford it. But Timothy was hardworking. He sold firewood, washed cars, did menial jobs, anything just to survive. When Precious told him her dream to go to university, he held her hands and said, "I will do everything I can to see you through school. I believe in you, Precious." And he did. Timothy labored day and night. He became a motorcycle rider, popularly called Okada in their village, just to gather money. Every evening, covered in dust, with his hands calloused and his body drenched in sweat, he would bring every penny to her. "Here," he would say with a tired smile, handing her crumpled notes. "This should cover your fees and food for the week." Precious would smile sweetly, thanking him, promising to never forget his sacrifices. He paid her acceptance fee. He bought her admission form. He borrowed from friends and even sold his father's only piece of land to pay her tuition. Every holiday, she would return from school with more pride, dressing better, speaking differently. She started making new friends, moving with children from wealthy homes. Timothy noticed the changes but said nothing. He trusted her. She stopped picking his calls as often. Her text messages became shorter. "Timothy, you won't understand," she would always say. "School is stressful." But behind those words, another story was unfolding. One day, during her third year at the university, she met Peter. Peter was everything Timothy wasn't. He was rich, confident, and owned a fleet of cars. He was in his early 30s, already a big name in the oil and gas industry. The first time she entered Peter's car, Precious felt like she had touched heaven. He bought her expensive phones, took her to classy restaurants, and even gave her large sums of money. In no time, Precious began to see Timothy as an embarrassment. One evening, during a holiday visit, Timothy walked her to the village square, holding her hand lovingly. But she quickly pulled her hand away, glancing around to see if anyone was watching. "Timothy, please stop this," she whispered angrily. "Stop what?" Timothy asked, confused. "Stop acting like we are still children. I've grown, I've seen life. You can't keep holding my hand like this in public. It's embarrassing." Timothy's heart sank. "But Precious, we've always walked like this." "Well, times have changed. I can't keep pretending I'm the same village girl you knew," she snapped. That night, Timothy cried himself to sleep, but he still loved her. During her final year, Precious sent Timothy a long text. "Timothy, I've thought deeply about this. You are a good man, but we are not compatible. Our worlds are different now. I've met someone who understands my level and can take care of me. Please forgive me, but I can't marry you. It's over." Timothy read that message over and over, each word stabbing him like a dagger. He couldn't breathe. He ran to her parents' house, hoping it was a misunderstanding, but they too had changed their tone. "Timothy, you've tried your best. Leave her alone. God will reward you," her mother said coldly. Precious had made her decision. She married Peter in a lavish wedding, attended by senators, governors, and celebrities. Her face was all over social media, hailed as one of the luckiest brides of the year. She moved into a mansion with maids, drivers, and security men. Meanwhile, Timothy disappeared from the village. Everyone said he had gone mad from heartbreak. Years passed, and Precious enjoyed her new life. Or so she thought. Peter was nothing like Timothy. He was harsh, controlling, and abusive. In public, he smiled and held her hand. But in private, he treated her like trash. He would insult her, reminding her that she was just a poor girl he picked from the gutter. "You think you're something special. You were a nobody until I cleaned you up," he would yell, slapping her across the face. The beatings started gradually, then became frequent. Each time she complained, he would throw wads of cash at her. "Buy yourself something nice and shut up," he would say. Soon Peter's business started crumbling. He was arrested for fraud and money laundering. All their properties were seized by the government. Her friends vanished. The same people who had hailed her now mocked her. Precious was thrown out of the mansion with just 2 bags. Broke, homeless, and disgraced, she wandered the streets, too ashamed to return to the village. One rainy evening, she sat under a bridge, drenched and crying bitterly, holding her torn clothes tightly around her. Suddenly, she heard a familiar voice. "Precious." She looked up, shocked. It was Timothy. He looked different, well-dressed, driving a brand-new SUV. Tears filled her eyes as she bowed her head in shame. But Timothy walked towards her, holding an umbrella over her. Without a word, he opened his car door and said, "Get in." She obeyed, sobbing uncontrollably. Inside the car, she couldn't stop crying. "Timothy. Sorry. I was foolish. I was greedy. I hurt you," she wailed. Timothy drove her silently to his house, a beautiful duplex in the city. "Sit down," he said calmly. "Timothy, please forgive me," she kept pleading. He gave her food, clothes, and allowed her to clean up. Later that night, Timothy sat opposite her and spoke gently. "Precious, when you left me, I thought my world had ended. I almost gave up on life. But one day I told myself, if she can leave me because I am poor, then I must change my story." He smiled faintly. "I traveled to the city, learned a trade, and by God's grace I succeeded. Now I own several businesses." Precious wept bitterly. "Timothy, please. I don't deserve your kindness. I betrayed you." Timothy's eyes softened. "I've already forgiven you. But remember this. Not all that glitters is gold. You traded love for money, but see where it led you." She knelt before him, wailing, "Please take me back. I will be a good woman. I've changed." But Timothy shook his head sadly. "I've moved on, Precious. I'm married now. To a woman who stood by me when I had nothing. She's pregnant with our first child." Precious felt her whole world crumble. She had lost everything. And now she had lost him forever. Timothy rose and said, "I will still help you, but not because I want you back, only because I am no longer the broken boy you abandoned." That night, Precious lay on the guest room bed, staring at the ceiling, haunted by her past choices. She had it all, and lost it all. She realized that betrayal never ends well. And true love once lost may never return. And so she wept, alone. That night felt like the longest night of Precious's life. She lay on the guest bed inside Timothy's beautiful home, staring at the soft lights above the ceiling, her pillow soaked with tears. She kept replaying Timothy's words in her mind. "I've moved on, Precious. I'm married now. To a woman who stood by me when I had nothing." Those words were like hot blades slicing her heart into pieces. This was Timothy. The same man she abandoned without looking back. Now he was everything she ever wanted. A wealthy man, yet humble and kind-hearted. And here she was, alone, homeless, disgraced. Precious remembered the days she would sit under the mango tree in their village, holding Timothy's rough hands, dreaming about a future together. "One day, you and I will build a beautiful home," Timothy used to say. his eyes sparkling with hope. And she would nod eagerly, believing it too. But greed had blinded her. Now she had nothing. The following morning, Precious woke up to the aroma of food filling the house. She dragged herself out of bed and walked into the living room. There she met Timothy's wife. Her name was Esther. Esther was not as physically striking as Precious used to be in her youthful days, but she had a calm beauty, the type that glowed from within. "Good morning," Esther greeted warmly. Precious couldn't even lift her head fully. "Good morning," she mumbled. "Please come join us for breakfast," Esther said kindly. Precious was shocked. How could this woman, knowing fully well who she was, treat her with such grace? Timothy appeared, smiling. "Precious, you're welcome to eat. You need strength." Precious swallowed her pride and sat with them. During breakfast, Timothy spoke. "Precious, after breakfast, I will take you to see someone who can help you get back on your feet." Precious's eyes widened. "Timothy, why are you doing this? After everything I did to you?" Timothy smiled softly. "Because I've let go. Holding on to bitterness only keeps you chained to the past. I'm free. And helping you doesn't diminish my happiness." Precious lowered her head in deep shame. After breakfast, Timothy drove her to a women empowerment NGO where he was a major sponsor. The director, Madame Alice, listened to Precious's story and immediately agreed to help her. Within a week, Precious was enrolled in a skills acquisition program. She started learning fashion design. It was difficult at first. She struggled with the sewing machines and had to humble herself to learn from younger girls. But gradually she started improving. Throughout the process, Timothy and Esther would occasionally check on her, offering words of encouragement. Precious began to see life differently. She started realizing how far she had fallen, not just financially but in character. One evening after class, Madame Alice called her aside. "Precious, I see you are serious about changing your life, but you need to forgive yourself fully. Stop punishing yourself for your past." Precious broke down in tears. "Madame Alice, how do I forgive myself? I destroyed the only man who ever loved me." "He has forgiven you already," Madame Alice said. "Now, forgive yourself and move forward." Precious wept for hours that night, but by morning she felt lighter. She poured herself into her fashion training, and within 6 months, she became one of the best in the center. Madame Alice was so impressed that she offered Precious a partnership deal to co-own a fashion outlet in the city. Precious couldn't believe it. From a woman who had lost everything, she was now about to become a business owner. During the grand opening of the outlet, Timothy and Esther attended. Precious wore one of her designs and looked radiant. When she saw Timothy and Esther, she walked up to them, tears in her eyes. In front of the entire audience, she knelt down. "Timothy, Esther, thank you for saving me when everyone else turned their back on me. I was wrong. Hurt you. But you showed me mercy. I will never forget it." Esther quickly lifted her up. "Precious, you are a strong woman," she said warmly. "Rise and keep rising." Timothy smiled proudly. "We are proud of you, Precious. This is your new beginning." The entire crowd clapped. From that day, Precious's life turned around. She became known as a powerful voice for women empowerment, using her story as a lesson. In her speeches, she never hid her past. "I was greedy. I thought money was everything. I abandoned true love for riches. But I lost it all," she would say. "Today I tell every young woman, never despise humble beginnings. Never betray a good heart for material things." Her honesty drew many admirers. Precious went on to build a thriving fashion brand, opening outlets in different cities. She became financially independent, respected, and admired. But she never remarried. "Marriage isn't my focus anymore," she would tell those who asked. "I married greed before. Now I am married to purpose." Yet, deep inside, there was still a corner of her heart that remained Timothy's. But she never crossed the line. She respected his marriage and remained grateful. Years later, Timothy invited her as the guest speaker at one of his company events. Precious stood on that stage, looking at the man who had once been a poor Okada rider, now a business mogul. She smiled and said, "If there is anyone here doubting the power of forgiveness and second chances, look no further than Timothy. He taught me the true meaning of grace." The crowd erupted in applause. As she left the stage, Timothy met her backstage. "Precious, I am proud of you," he said warmly. Tears welled in her eyes. "Timothy, I am forever grateful. I will never stop praying for you and Esther." He smiled. "Keep shining, Precious. You have a great destiny ahead." She walked away that night, her heart finally at peace. Precious had learned the hardest way that love, humility, and patience were far greater treasures than money. And though she paid a heavy price for her mistakes, she also became a living proof that no one is too broken to rise again. Her story became a beacon of hope for thousands of women. And in her heart, she kept a quiet prayer. "Lord, let me never forget where you brought me from. Let me always walk in grace." Precious had lost it all once. But through forgiveness, mercy, and hard work, she gained something far more valuable: wisdom. Her story was no longer one of regret. It became a story of redemption. The end. My beloved viewers, before I go, please allow me to say this from the deepest part of my heart. You are not just viewers to me. You are my family, my backbone, and my greatest supporters. Every time you watch, comment, subscribe, and share my stories, you are giving me the strength to keep going. I may not know each of you personally, but I feel your love, and I appreciate it more than words can ever explain. I pray for you today. May God bless you beyond your expectations. May your own story end in glory, no matter how rough the beginning may seem. May you never fall into the trap of betrayal or regret. I declare over your life, every door of favor that has been shut against you shall open wide in Jesus' name. You will not labor in vain. Those who mocked you before will come back to celebrate you. You will never experience heartbreak that will leave you shattered. Instead, you shall encounter true, lasting love. I pray that your destiny helpers will locate you. Whatever your heart desires, may God fulfill it according to His perfect plan. And as you have supported me today, may God raise men and women who will support your own journey. Amen. I love you all so much. Please, if this story touched your heart, do me this little favor: subscribe, leave a comment, and share this story with someone else. Your support is what keeps me going. You are my strength. Thank you for always being here. Till I see you in the next story. Stay safe, stay blessed, and never forget that you are deeply loved.